so upset that Bran didn't warg a dragon during the big battle at Winterfell? Are you perplexed why he didn't share certain plans with characters such as Euron's ambush? Well, we actually got answers to how Bran's powers work and the extent of them. However, it doesn't make his creepy staring any better. So Bran's actor Isaac did an interview and he shared what Bran's powers are and why he doesn't share everything with characters. Also why he didn't warg a dragon during the big battle at Winterfell. Do you remember when book snobs, not me, I swear, I know I sometimes come off as one, I'm not, but do you remember when they'd freak out when you talk about the show and you'd be like, oh, Bran's gonna warg a dragon, and they'd go, no, you can't say warg, it's skin changing because of the books, and then you'd point them to the wiki where it said warging for the show includes just going into anybody, and then they'd still be mad at you. People are fucking weird. Oh, warging, also adding ing to the end of it. That's another thing people like freak out about, and I'm not gonna fucking stop. Now also keep in mind, though I'm sharing this with you, Isaac did say that he doesn't 100% know Bran's powers, and he's kind of just speculating based on what he was told. So he said, "This is all conjecture on my part. I've never actually gone through a very detailed analysis of what exactly Bran's powers are with the showrunners David and Dan. To be honest, I don't think they really want to do that. It would become like a superhero movie. If we knew every way that Bran's powers worked, and what exactly he can do, it's best to keep that sense of mystery and unknown to it." So you're saying D&D didn't fully flesh something out and doesn't understand completely how something works? But that doesn't mean we can't take what he said in interviews and run with it. So settle down, strap on your tinfoil, and let's go. Okay, so first Isaac shared that Bran's really not helpful on the battle side of things, so him sitting in the Godswood as bait was kind of the extent of his character's ability. However, he did warg into those ravens during the battle to keep an eye on everything that was going on. So Isaac did confirm that Bran did in fact warg into the ravens just so he could keep an eye on the battle and not for some other crazy reason like a psychic battle with the Night King. Not that I was guilty of coming up with those theories. I'm innocent. So Bran's actor said about that warging scene with the ravens, "As far as I understand it, he's just in the ravens. He's just keeping tabs on the battle. But having lots of shots of ravens flying around wouldn't be much of interest. And it would be pretty impractical for him to be like, hey, Theon, can you run over there and tell this guy to get out of the way of that guy? Bran recognizes that all he can do is sit there and let whatever happens, happen. We saw how quickly all their plans disintegrated. There would have been no chance of an efficient communication system." That makes sense, although I was one of those people that thought he was just keeping tabs on the entire battle and making sure everything was falling into place. I can understand people that wanted it to be some crazy psychic battle with the Night King or luring him in or whatnot, but we can't always get what we want, which is a good thing in the case of myself because I want some really weird things for this show. Okay, but what are Bran's abilities with seeing into the future? Well, it turns out that he can't really see the future. He only gets kind of feelings or hints of what he should do, such as him giving the cat's paw dagger to Arya.
I don't want it.
Are you sure? It's Valyrian steel.
It's wasted on a cripple.
He didn't know what it was going to be used for, and he didn't know that it would be used to kill the Night King. All Bran knew was, okay, this is important that I give this dagger to Arya for something that's going to happen in the future. So Isaac shared, as I understand it, Bran can't exactly see the future. I think he has inklings. When Bran gives Arya the cat's paw dagger, he knows there's something important to do with it, but he doesn't know that, say, 6 months on, she's going to use it to stab the Night King. So I think it's still indeterminate, and not classically casual mechanics, where he just views things as actions that follow from one another. There's still some uncertainty. But even if Bran knew the future, he wouldn't necessarily share it. So remember in Avengers Endgame, fuck you, it's been out for a while now. Stop. This is on you now, buddy. But you remember how Doctor Strange told Tony, hey, if I tell you what you need to do to make that one future happen where we succeed, you might not do it. Things might not unravel the way they're supposed to. It's similar to that with Bran. So Isaac also said, even if Bran did know everything that happened in the future, the reason, in my opinion, that Bran is so quiet and doesn't necessarily choose to give everything away is that the three-eyed raven is trained to be very calm and still, because he knows that the information he has could be used for all sorts of purposes. If any of the normal people knew anything about the past, or any sort of vague things that might happen in the future, it would probably change the way things unfold. People would end up making the wrong choices, or doing things based on what Bran's told them. The very purpose of the three-eyed raven is to be the one who is wise, and still, and careful enough to handle this information and not just go blabbering it about, because that would affect the outcome. He's very cautious with what he reveals to people, because he's aware that time has to unfold naturally. So people that were upset that Bran didn't share with Dany Euron's surprise attack, you now have your reason. Even if he knew it, which he probably didn't, he knew he couldn't say, hey, be careful, this had to happen the way it happened. Which he actually shared a little bit more on that and how Bran won't ever be updating the Citadel with the information about the past he has. The reason that you have a three-eyed raven is that you need to be sensible to guard this information. Even in our world, if we knew every single precise thing that went on in history, the world would probably be a very different place. I think the job of the three-eyed raven is to keep the information and decide what to be shared. The previous three-eyed raven, and all the three-eyed ravens before him, they didn't share information. They sat there, and they waited. They just kept abreast of everything. So I don't know whether that something would be on Bran's agenda. There are plenty of people who could use that information, and Bran recognizes the potential that it could fall into the wrong hands. It's far too dangerous. He can look up anything in history, and it's not just uploading images anymore. He can just go, what happened on the 5th of November of this year? Or whatever, and look it up with some precision. I think what previous three-eyed ravens did is they sat there in the cave and they went through every single day in the history of the world. Obviously Bran hasn't had time to do all that yet. He's only been the three-eyed raven since the end of season 6. Which actually makes me think about this crazy theory that's going around that Bran actually sits the Iron Throne at the end of the series, but would that actually be a good thing, according to what the three-eyed ravens are supposed to do, just kind of sit quietly and observe? Would Bran being on the throne and giving orders to people or his advisors conflict with that? Because I think it would. So does that kind of mean Bran sitting the Iron Throne isn't a viable prediction or theory anymore? Or maybe he just has a general idea of what he should say and do, and then he just lets the future unfold how it's supposed to. I don't know, that's an interesting thought. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. Do you think that would negate him from ever being able to sit the Iron Throne, or do you even think that's a reasonable prediction or whatnot? I'm interested what you guys think. Also, do you like the explanation of Bran's powers and how he views what information he wants to give out and that he can't really clearly see the future, or do you think that's kind of a letdown? Also, do you wish Bran would have done some crazy stuff during the battle at Winterfell? I want to know all your thoughts about Bran. Share them in the comment section down below. I love them.